Hey guys, it's me, Joselyn. We're gonna get almost pretty much right into this video. I did have another video that I wanted to put up, actually. I actually recorded it last night. I was up until like 2 a.m. editing and was gonna work on it when I got home from work. And then I got home to work, opened up Facebook, and saw this article. Trump administration eyes defining transgender out of existence. And I was just like, wait, what? And like that was, I think, literally my thoughts, because the wording of that sounds like, hey, Donald Trump's trying to figure out how to delete my existence. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And I was just like, okay. And I went to go and read it. And here I am, probably like 2 or 3 hours later, after researching and writing all these notes, still in my uniform, like I still have my name tag on. And I was like, I gotta talk about this, because this is important. This could affect my life majorly, any of you guys' life, if you're trans. Like, this is like, whew, I don't even know. Alright, so we're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna be reading my notes here, so if I'm not looking directly at the camera, that's why, but I want to make sure that I'm getting everything right and that I am not, misquoting or missaying anything. So I keep playing with my hair, god damn it. So anyway, I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything correct and right. So, alright, here we go. So, the Department of Health and Human Services, the HHS, has just put in motion a change to the Title IX federal civil rights law that bans gender discrimination in education programs that receive government financial assistance, and to establish a legal definition of sex under that law. In a memo that was acquired by the New York Times, they're the people who broke this story, so a lot of my information is coming from them. I'm going to have all my sources down in the description box, of course. Anyway, a memo that was acquired by the New York Times that states that the proposed changes would mean that the definition of gender is defined on a biological basis that is clear, grounded in science, objective, and administrable. Sex means a person's status as male or female based on immutable biological traits identifiable by or before birth. The sex listed on a person's birth certificate as originally issued shall constitute definitive proof of a person's sex unless rebutted by a reliable genetic evidence. So, in layman terms, essentially, you'll have to get genetic testing done to even be able to have rights as a trans person. You will essentially have to go and get genetic testing done to see if you have, the corresponding chromosomes of your preferred gender, which, let's face it, most of us don't. This new definition of gender could essentially mean that the rights of 1.4 million Americans can be taken away overnight, and that's myself included. And that's really scary to think about. Like that would affect families on government assistance if the trans person is one of the people listed. It could affect healthcare with trans people who have health insurance. They could lose their health insurance. It could affect basically a lot of school, not school programs, assistance programs, health programs, and then just being treated right in school, which we'll get to that later. There's actually some really fucked up shit when we get into there. So once that passes, essentially, then it will become law and start rolling out into the different agencies, and it'll be law throughout the government. The scary part about this, or one of the scary parts about it, the whole situation itself is just fucking horrifying, but one of the really big worrying things about it is the fact that Jeff Sessions is the Attorney General, so he is one of the people who will help decide if this gets defined this way. And if you don't know who Jeff Sessions is, it's this lovely guy right here. He is the Attorney General, obviously. He is the same guy who last year in October must be Take Away Trans Rights Month. Hey, let's celebrate what we're going to do next year. But he's the person who last October released a memo saying that, and I'm going to quote the memo because that's the easiest thing. Title VII's prohibition on sex discrimination encompasses discrimination between men and women, but does not encompass discrimination based on gender identity per se, including transgender status. Essentially, Title VII prohibits employment discrimination based on gender, race, color, etc. So he's essentially saying being trans, your gender identity is not covered under those laws, those protections based off of the wording. According to Health and Human Services, the reason they're bringing about those changes is because they're just trying to uphold past court decisions, and they're just trying to make a defined thing. They're basing it off the rulings of Judge Reed O'Connor from Fort Worth, Texas. He ruled that Congress did not understand sex to include gender identity. Civil rights groups have pointed out, though, that other court cases where it has been held up for a long time. A memo sent to the administration by a bunch of civil rights groups saying that the overwhelming majority of courts to address the question, since most relevant Supreme Court precedent in 1998 have held that anti-transgender bias constitutes sex discrimination under federal laws like Title IX. They, HHS is trying to be like, hey, we're just upstanding and holding, this judge made this ruling and said that the Congress can't define this. These civil rights groups are essentially being like, no, almost every court case, including Supreme Court cases since 1998, has constituted that anti-transgender bias does count as discrimination. So obviously they're just like picking one thing, and since that's the one thing that they want, they're being like, see, since this one time it happened, we're getting what we want. That's why. According to HHS, the Obama administration took advantage of I want to quote their exact wording, lack of standalone definition of gender to include gender identity and sexual orientation in a multitude of agencies and under a multitude of laws that in doing so led to confusion and negative policy consequences in healthcare, education, and other federal contexts. So apparently us trans people are fucking just confusing the entire government. They don't know what to fucking do with us when they see us come across in paperwork. And apparently we have brought severe consequences to healthcare and schools. I would really love to see statistics on this. The memo didn't have any. It would be cool if they would, because, I would love to know the exact reasoning, because this is just saying, oh, it was a bad thing, therefore believe us on it. Prove to me that there was negative consequences and everything. Like, I want to see that. You're trying to say that I don't exist. At least prove to me I don't exist. I was thinking, and then I already shut the camera off, and now I'm coming back to this because I was thinking, what even is the point of this? I was scrolling through and I saw Shuon had made a tweet while I was copying this file off, which I'm gonna have to copy this next one off. Wow, my hair, I should not push it back like that. Where she was like, if this is legit, it erases it. If this is legit, he literally erases the concept of trans people and gender in general and could greatly interfere with them getting the help that they need. What is even the point of doing something like this? And it just made me realize, what the fuck is the point? It sounds like it accomplishes nothing. Well, I guess I kind of asked that point back in when I said about the whole detrimental to health and all that other shit. Prove that, because without that, there's literally no point, and all it is you're just trying to make people's lives different because you're uncomfortable with their existence. Let me live my life. I'm not doing anything to bother you. We're just trying to live life, man. Leave us be. Let us take our hormones and do our thing. We're not hurting nobody. We're just trying to be us, yo. So let us go. Anyway, back to wherever I throw this into the video. And then the last but not least part of this, in their response on how they would handle bullying of trans students in schools, they said that they would handle them on and I'm going to quote them because this wording I don't want to fuck up, that they would continue to open cases as unwelcome conduct based on a student's sex or harassing conduct based on a student's failure to conform to sex stereotypes. Which, what I'm getting from that is essentially they're going to research why you deserve to be bullied because you're transgender. And it's just what the fuck? At least that's how I feel, especially with that last one. Harassing conduct based on a student's failure to conform to sex stereotypes. I don't know, just the wording that makes it sound like the student is getting bullied because they are doing this. It's their fault. Not it's just literally the government victim blaming trans people for getting bullied, beat up, fucking even killed, because, that's something that happens all the fucking time. And it's really fucking horrifying and scary and worrying to think about, because who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows, in the climate we're in, I could see this actually happening, and then I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen? Hopefully things will go normal, but there's a chance that things can't, and I don't know what will, how it'll affect my life, and that's really scary and worrying to think about. Anyway, one last little bit, and then I'm gonna wrap up with the rest of my thoughts. Fox reached out to the the HHS and a spokesperson said the department does not comment on alleged leaked documents. So who knows? Maybe this isn't even real, but the chance of it not being real, very unlikely. It's just, you know, just normal government. We can't talk about this, you know, we can't confirm nor deny the existence of this paper. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to update this later on. If I happen to like have this finished editing, and as I'm exporting it, new news comes out, I'll actually update it. But if not, this will be as up to date as from what I found. I tried to like just get bullet points just to get the general information out to people who don't want to sit there and sift through news articles, who don't want to, you know, read everything. Like I said, I'll have all the sources listed down below if you want to take a deeper dive. This is just me skimming off the top just to get the general like idea of what's happening. I want to do a deeper dive later on, but I really wanted to get just the thought out, the information out as fast as possible, so people have time to realize this and to call people, you know, your senators, your representatives. I'm not sure who else like you can contact. I think if I remember correctly, in the Justice Department, once it's presented, there'll be a period of time where the community can comment for, I think, like 24 days or 48 days or something. I can't remember exactly, but as soon as I know ways that like we can try to help bring awareness, raise our voice, I will let you know. I know, and I think Boston, there is a big law, or Massachusetts, I think it is in general. There is a law that's being voted on by the people in this election coming up for transgender rights. So definitely, if you live in that area, I think it's Boston. You know what? Let me just double check. All right, so I did double check. It is Massachusetts. So yeah, if you live in Massachusetts, go out there and you're able to vote. Go out there and vote, because literally, especially if you're trans, your rights are in your hands. You need to lift your voice. I know you think to yourself, oh, there, you know, one vote in the world won't change anything, but if every single person who said my vote won't change anything voted, that would change something. So go out there, vote, and make your voice known, because you can help your community, you can help yourself have a better life, and you can be part of the fight just by going out, hitting a button on a screen, checking a box on a paper, whatever type of polling station you have. Then right there, you're out there fighting for your trans rights, and that's awesome. You should be happy and proud to do that. So yeah, anyway, that's all for now. I hope you guys did enjoy this. This is different. I do have another video, a more fun video, that's going to be coming out really soon. I already have it almost finished, so probably by the end of this week or next week sometime, there will be another video from me. It'll be a more fun video. So I will see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, bye.